Welcome back to my channel, everybody. My name's Coach Kathy Richardson, and I lost 150 pounds. And I did it by eating awesome food. And today, I'm going to try a new recipe for you. I love trying new recipes. You guys seem to love it when I try new recipes. So let's give it a whirl. This is going to be chicken crust pizza. I've seen this done a lot, but I've never actually had it. I did try the canned chicken nuggets last week. Say that fast 10 times. And they were good, but I did find they needed a little seasoning. So when I saw this come up as a suggestion, I thought I would give it a whirl again, but this time we're just going to spice things up a notch. So let's get started. You're going to use one full-size can of chunk chicken. And guys, when I open this up, it smells like tuna. That's why I told you in the chicken nugget recipe to rinse it off. And I did rinse this again, and it really helps. And it got me wondering, are we smelling preservatives, or is it actually the meat that smells like it? I don't really know, but I know after rinsing this a couple of times, it smells nothing like tuna now. And it definitely does not taste like tuna when you're eating it. So I'm going to dump this into a bowl that I've already pre-beaten 1 egg. So it's 1 can of chicken and 1 egg. And some of you who tried the nugget recipe said that you thought the nuggets were a little tough. And I think that's because maybe you didn't break up your chicken, your chicken enough in that. So I'm just going to actually really give her with this fork and blend to get this chicken broken up. You could even take 2 forks and try to shred it like pulled pork. But this is actually coming apart quite nicely. And I think the more cohesive your mixture is going to be, the more it's going to feel, for a chicken nugget anyway, like a McDonald's chicken nugget or one of those pre-formed patties, because they actually get ground right up into a paste, and then it's kind of like extruded out into like those specific nugget shapes. That's why you get the one that looks like the gun or the one that looks like the oval. There's like 3 basic chicken nugget shapes, and that's not an accident. So anyways, I'm just going to blend this in, and then the original recipe said cheddar cheese, but this time, keeping with the whole Italian theme, and just to keep the flavor maybe a little more neutral, I'm going to try mozzarella cheese this time. So once this gets mixed up, it's going to go in a preheated air fryer at 400 degrees for 17 minutes. And that is going to be just the crust. You're not going to add your cheese or your toppings or your sauce yet. You need to pre-cook your crust. Whew, got my arm workout for the day. But that's combined quite well. So again, keeping with the neutral base, I'm just going with a 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese. I'm just going to eyeball this. When you guys are cooking things like this, you really don't need to stress about measurements as much as you would if it was something really particular like keto and low carb baking. Things probably do need to be quite a bit more specific. But I'm just doing a 1/2 cup of shredded cheddar, maybe 2 tablespoons of Parmesan, and then I'm just going to hit it with some Italian seasoning, and then everything tastes better with good old onion and garlic. We put that on everything, so that's going to go in here too. And Italian seasoning is already going to have the oregano in it, and that is what actually is the distinct flavor in pizza crust and pizza sauce. And people smell oregano and they think it smells like pizza, but that's why, because most pizza sauces have a very high oregano amount. And for that reason, I'm just not going to add any extra. You could add extra oregano in here if you want to. I'm not going to. This is very nice and dry, and it kind of sticks together good when I squeeze it, so that's a good sign. So that's already ready, guys. All we have to do is take our air fryer pan, and these are great. I'm going to link these in my Amazon store below, but they're air fryer liners, so there's way less cleanup. So the recipe that I saw showed a round crust, but because my air fryer isn't round, I'm actually just going to do it to the shape of the air fryer pan already. So I'm going to have kind of like a squoval, kind of a square, kind of an oval. And I think the key here is just going to be to have a uniform thickness. If you don't make this an even consistency throughout, you're going to have pieces on the end that might be too thin and they might burn. And then you might have some thick pieces in the middle that don't get that lovely crust that we saw on the chicken nuggets. So I'm just flattening out. I'm guessing you're going to want this about, I'd say, 1/4 of an inch thick. You don't have to be too fussy. It's just pizza. When Chris and I had our pizza business and we were talking to different people in the industry, almost everybody said to us the exact same thing. There's no such thing as a bad pizza, or even a bad pizza is still a good pizza because it's still pizza. So we'll see if that theory holds true today with a chicken crust. And for a protein count, this guy, I mean, you really, if you wanted to, you could eat this whole thing yourself. I'm going to save half of this for Chris so he can try it. But if I did eat the whole thing myself, the macro I care about the most is protein. We all know I'm the protein queen. So this is going to have a whopping 60 grams of protein for the whole thing. And that's not even including the meat that I'm going to use for a topping later. That's just coming from the canned chicken, the protein from the egg, and there's quite a bit of protein in Parmesan cheese and mozzarella cheese too. So just the crust alone is coming in at a whopping 60 grams, and it's only going to go up from there based on what you choose for your ingredients. So I use the Ninja Foodie air fryer. I love it, but it's very loud. So I didn't turn it on yet to preheat, just so you could hear me during the video. This is what my crust looks like. It smells amazing. It does not smell like tuna. It's very Italian smelling. So I'm just going to turn the air fryer on and I'm going to preheat it. And then this is going to go in at 400 degrees for 17 minutes. And then I'll be right back and show you what that looks like. And we are back. It's been 17 minutes. This just came out of the air fryer. It's super hot and it smells amazing. I didn't really have much expectations for this. I was definitely skeptical, but guys, look at this. It looks like pizza crust and it feels like bread. Like my mind is blown. So I can't wait to eat this. We got to get the toppings on top. I'm just going to use a little bit of tomato sauce that I had here, and check out this really cool hands-free can opener. It's pretty cool. It works very well and it doesn't leave sharp edges. And so you can just click that and let it go, and you don't have to worry about it slamming down off of like a stationary model or twisting a regular one. I've been super happy with this. And it does it in such a way that you can like easily put the lid back on too, and it kind of like suctions back down in. Anyways, I was just trying to decide on what kind of pizza I wanted. I kind of have food FOMO, like fear of missing out. So I didn't want to mess this up. I wanted to make sure it was a good try. So where it is chicken based, I thought I would pay homage to Cece's Treats, our business, and the one that we did our pizzas out of, and do one of our most popular pizzas, which was the Texan. So that is actually a barbecue chicken pizza. And we did use barbecue sauce as the crust, but I already had this open before I had this epiphany. So we're going to do a little bit of both, because I actually like on my pizzas putting sauce on top of the cheese too. It gives me that whole kind of barbecue chicken nacho feel. So I'm just putting a very thin layer of pizza sauce on here. And when we did the Texan, it always had cheese, barbecue sauce, chicken, pineapple, and onions. But I also love mushrooms. Chris and I actually forage for mushrooms. And but oddly enough, as much of a mushroom snob as I can be on my pizza, maybe you guys are like this too. Let me know down in the comments. I love canned mushrooms. I find fresh mushrooms, if they're raw, they dry out. And even if you drizzle them with olive oil before you bake, they still dry out. So sometimes I would chop some up and fry them in some olive oil and garlic and thyme and different things. But honestly, work smarter, not harder. And I love canned mushrooms. My daughter Macy, when she was little, for a treat, she would beg me to open a can of mushrooms, and she'd eat the whole can when she was like 2, and she would actually cry for more. So that's super funny, because I don't think she probably would now, but it was good at the time, and I still like them. I'm just going to hit it with some Parmesan cheese too, again, just for extra flavor. 2 cheeses are better than 1. And these are sweet Vidalia onions that I just got at Costco the other day. And I have shredded them fairly small, or chopped them fairly small, just because this isn't going to take long. This is going to go back in the oven for like 3 minutes. Like this crust is done already. And so I don't want to burn it, because I think that would not be very good eats. And so I'm just doing onion and then a little bit of pineapple. Again, as always, if I am using fruit in a can, it's in its own juices. It's never going to be like in the syrup. Like that's just yucky. And you know, if you're really watching your carbs, don't put the pineapple on. I counted, this was actually 10 pieces of tidbits that I chopped up so they'd be littler and go further, so you can just get that flavor but without putting a ton of sugar in there. And I'm not even using the whole thing. I'm gonna go in with my weird canned mushrooms. But I like them. That's the great thing about pizza. You do you, right? Everybody has their own thing that they like. And to me, I love a vegetarian pizza. I do. One of our best sellers was actually one called a Lux, and it didn't have any meat. But today I'm going to hit it with some meat because I know it gets so crispy in the air fryer. So I just have some Genoa salami that I'm just going to freely tear on here. Once this is done, I'm going to turn the air fryer back on. I don't have it on because it's loud, as I said before. And then it's just going to go in. I'm even going to try 2 minutes because that's at 400. It's hot and it's already preheated. I really don't want to burn this. So I've got it covered with meat. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit more cheese on top because I find it kind of acts like glue and holds everything on. But I still have to make it a Texan. So this is the part that's yummy. And I do this with my nachos too. But when you drizzle the top with some of the barbecue sauce, and this is Sweet Baby Ray's, no sugar added, of course, it gets hit by the heat and it caramelizes. And it just takes it to a whole nother flavor profile when you have that caramelized sugar flavor, because this is no sugar added. But I think this is going to be so good. So I'm just going to rinse my hands off and put it in the air fryer, and then we'll be back for a taste test. And we're back. It smells amazing. It looks great. This was 3 minutes at 400 degrees, and that was perfect. Like the cheese is melted. It's not burnt. You can see the sauce is nice and caramelized, and I can't wait to dig in. So I'm just going to take my little chef knife here. Oh, it's got a nice little crunch sounding. The steam's coming off. I hope I don't completely burn myself. I'm just going to take a little tiny piece just so we can try. I want to get a piece of the pineapple and some of the sauce and a piece of meat and a mushroom. I guess it's not too tiny of a piece. But again, it really looks like bread. I'm so excited. Oh, it smells great. Here we go. I'm so glad I put pineapple in that. It really feels like breading. That's bizarre. My mind is just going with different things. I'm thinking like donair pizza. I'm thinking garlic fingers with a garlic butter spread and lots of cheese. And I know Mabel Kitchen is going to be making a sugar-free donair sauce. And just straight up like a fresh tomato. You can get like those heirloom tomatoes at Costco. I'm thinking those really nicely sliced with some fresh bocconcini or balls of mozzarella and fresh torn basil, and doing like a margarita pizza. And the chicken and barbecue. It tastes meaty, but I don't know if the meat I'm tasting is from the crust or if it's from my salami that I tasted. It probably is the crust a little bit, but it's very bread-like too. Like I feel like I'm eating the end of the pizza on the end of this. Like it's got that nice crunch. This is awesome. I'm giving this definitely like a 9.5 out of 10 for sure. I will be making this again. Christopher, you're going to love it. I will also put down below links to the liners because I don't even have to clean up. I've got the pizza liner in the garbage already. So these are great, and they kind of help brown on the underneath too. And this guy, I love this. So I've had this for like 3 months now, and I open up canned food and canned fruit all the time, and it's never failed me yet. Let's see if I can break it on the video. I'll have links to both of those. If you guys like content like this, please let me know. Definitely like this video and hit subscribe to my channel. And there's also a little notification bell, and when you hit that, it's going to let you know when I post new things. I'm going to be putting out a lot of content lately, and if you don't want to get behind, make sure you hit that notification bell. And by subscribing to my channel, it really helps put me into YouTube's algorithm so more people can see my recipes. It helps my channel grow so we can do more fun stuff like this together. And I really appreciate you watching. If you try this, let me know. Let me know what you put on your pizza. Have a great night. Thanks.